morning. Thank you for joining us this morning as folks start to join us and come into the webinar. I want to introduce myself. My name is Trish McFarland. I'm president of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, and we are thrilled to bring you another webinar in our series of educational events with the Chamber. And it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. We have Joe Kittner, Senior Account Representative for our Customer Experience at PECO. Joe, thank you for being with us this morning, and thank you for running this presentation. We're looking forward to finding out a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish. I've been looking forward to this for some time. I want to thank all the chamber members for joining in the presentation today. My goal is to make this as valuable as possible for you. I know that it's not always the easiest thing in the world, particularly as a small or mid-sized business owner, to join a webinar in the middle of the week. So I appreciate you carving out some time for us. We're going to make this as productive and informative as possible for you. First off, just to tell you a little bit about me, I am, as Trish said, I'm a senior account representative and I'm on the customer experience team with PECO. As you may have guessed, the goal of customer experience is to help ensure that you, as our customers, are getting the most out of your relationship with the utility and having the best overall customer experience just in doing your day-to-day business. The days of the expectation level of working with your utility, it wasn't that long ago that it was, hey, we got to keep the lights on and keep the gas flowing and we'll be okay. But those days are long gone. We're really compared against other websites like or other organizations and their websites, their digital tools. We're compared against Google or Amazon, and consumers don't really distinguish anymore between the type of business that they're doing business with. They want their information, they want their problems solved, and they want it done now. So I believe that's something that everybody on this call can probably resonate with. To that end, PECO's long had a pretty robust plan about how to better engage with large customers like your hospitals, your universities, people that have a dedicated account manager, and people that have a single point of contact. Many of the people on this call are also pretty familiar with PECO's strategies around residential customer engagement. Because of that, everybody has a little bit of skin in the game here. Many of us are already doing business with PECO. But I would also say that what we're trying to do as a part of that, since we do have those big plans around large customers and residential customers, there's a little bit of a gap there. And that's for the small and the mid-sized business customer that haven't necessarily felt a warm and fuzzy over the years. And that's what me and my team are here to do a better job of, is helping connect you as the small and mid-sized business customer with a lot of the tools and resources that PECO has available or has made available for you. That makes the Chamber a really natural partner for us, because we know that the vast majority of Chambers of Commerce members are about 90% small and mid-sized business customers. So by doing an event like this, it helps add value for you as the Chamber member. It helps add value for us because we're trying to improve these relationships, and for the Chamber because they're helping, they're bringing valuable information to you as a small business customer. So big thank you to everybody for helping bring this together. For today, I've put together a team of my colleagues that all have a vested interest in better connecting with you as the small business customer. We're going to do some introductions as we move through. I'm going to share my screen right now. Sorry, I thought that was happening already. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Jessica,
1 second, Joe, let me get you squared away here. All right.
So while she's doing that, should I just try it again?
Yes.
There we go. Thank you. Please excuse the technical difficulty. But what I'd say here is that everybody that you see before you on this screen has a vested interest in connecting with you as a small business customer. Everybody owns a product or a resource that is designed to engage with you and ultimately help make your life a little bit simpler by streamlining your ongoing business dealings with the utility. Rather than go through one by one, I'll ask all the presenters just to introduce themselves as you get to your section. But as a general overview, just to set the framework, We're prepared to talk for about an hour today, and we really want to make this as engaging as possible. So by all means, please chime in with the chat, raise your hands, do whatever it is that you need to do so that we can get your questions answered. We want this to be informative for you. So we welcome any questions or any feedback. To kick things off, I'm showing you PECO's customer vision: to be a trusted partner and advocate for all customers and to contribute to the performance outcomes of world-class customer experience in affordability, strong community value, innovation and value-driven growth, and clean and environmentally sustainable communities. All of the presenters on the call today have a vested interest in bringing you closer to this end. And by the time we wrap up this call, the goal is for everyone, including you, to be a little bit closer to that end, because that means that we're doing our job the right way. So without further ado, I would like to introduce, or actually, I'm not going to introduce our first presenter. I'm going to give you a layup question just to kick things off on a positive note. If Jess, you could bring up our first poll question of the day. Now, I know that this is not exactly a brain buster, but that's the intent. I want to start everybody off feeling good and knowing that we're here today to benefit you. So I really hope that everybody has a pretty good feeling of of where I'm going with this. But I'll give it a couple more seconds. And what I would say is that the answer to this question is false. PECO offers programs to all of its customers, whether that is our residential customers, some of our largest customers, and also some of our small and mid-sized business customers. We've got something for everybody today, and that's what we're going to be digging into specifically is the tools and resources that are available to small and mid-sized business customers. So I'm going to move past that now that that expectation is set. And I'm going to hand it over to our Innovation Manager of Digital Tools, Stacy Shreves.
Good morning. My name is Stacy Shreves. I am recently in a new position for Innovation and Research and Development Manager at PECO, but I was formerly a Senior e-channels Program Manager where I oversaw the website and the mobile app. So today I just want to discuss a little bit about the website and the mobile app for you guys. You might be familiar, you may not be familiar, but I'll go through some basics just so that you have an idea of different things that you can do on the website. So for those who are not familiar, our website is www.peco.com. Pretty easy to remember. The mobile app you can type in, we have for Android, we also have for iOS, for just you could type in for the PECO mobile app. And one thing I did want to just point out here, so this is, if you go onto our website and you create an account, so you register for an account, if you do have multiple accounts or multiple different account numbers with one business, you can link an account. So in the top right corner, you'll see where it says link an account. And I just want to point that out because that does give you the ability to have one username, one user ID, but you can have multiple accounts underneath of there. When you typically, if you do that, when you go into the account, you'll see multiple accounts on there to list the accounts out, and then you can choose whichever account that you want. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm using a PECO account for the website. So this is a PECO account we have here. This one is not linked to any other account. So typically what you'll see when you go into the website and you sign into the account is you'll see kind of like your, on the residential side, we call it a dashboard. Commercial side, it's not, we don't call it a dashboard, but for today's purpose, I'll call it a dashboard for commercial. So you'll see at the top where it has just some general information, the account name, the account number, is the account active. If you have an account that is inactive or that you've recently closed, it will stay online. The account will stay, technically, your user ID will stay active for 30 days. And that's once the account is paid off to zero. If the account is not paid off to zero, it does stay. You can still go online and make a payment, but once it's paid to zero, you'll have 30 days access after that. But for all you guys who have active accounts, this is an active account. You'll see it also has the address, the last payment, and the current bill and the due date. So all of that is listed out the top for you. That's really kind of just for some easy, quick knowledge for you to reference and to get to. And then, of course, the Lincoln account. One thing I did want to also point out that was recently added to the website, not which is for if before you sign in on the unauthenticated side of the website, is we do have now Spanish translation as well as simplified Chinese. We are in the process of working on getting that for the authenticated side of the website as well, but there is that option. So for anyone who speaks simplified Chinese or Spanish, we are really branching out there to incorporate that within the website as well. But also just here on the dashboard, this will really kind of be the main starting point for customers. So when you sign in, you'll see a brief bill history. So what my bill is, again, this is a PECO account. So there's nothing here really to see, but my bill, you'll see the billing and payment option. So is this account enrolled in auto pay? No, it's not. Budget billing, also not enrolled. And then e-bill. And budget bill, just for those who might be curious, the name is a little deceptive, but it really is just a way to budget the bill for each month. So it puts you, if you enroll in budget billing, it gives you the same bill amount each month, and that's calculated based off of the last 12 months of service. So you based off just kind of the average of your last 12 months of service, let's say we generate that and we determine your bill will be $150 if you split it out evenly throughout the year. So, summer months might be more expensive because you're running the air conditioning and things like that. But let's say it's $150 throughout the year. It does get recalculated every 4 months so that it's up to date with whatever your actual spending habits are. But that's what budget billing is. So there's an option to enroll, and then e-bill. So this customer is enrolled in e-bill, which we encourage for everyone is to definitely enroll in e-bill. And this is for option to modify. So that's all right there on the dashboard. And then just over on the left-hand side, there are some quick things to get to as far as some service options, understanding my bill, my usage, rates and tariffs. So that's there as well. And then this would also, you have the option to do some of this in the mobile app. So in the mobile app, you'll have billing history, you'll have some alerts and things like that. So don't forget to download the mobile app. If you're just going on and you're making payments and you want to do things quickly, we definitely recommend the mobile app. Okay, so for the next slide. So just getting into some additional things that can be done on the website. So you can see your usage. So if you want to just track how much usage you're generating and what you want to compare it versus last year, or compare it over the month from the last month, there is also an option in there to compare it based off the neighbors. So like for residential, if I want to go in and look at, I can't see what my neighbor is spending or what my neighbor is using, but just kind of in my neighborhood, a general analysis of how my usage is compared to the neighborhood usage. But there's the option to go in and view your usage and see how much your kilowatts. This is a gas account, but how many kilowatts you're using for that month versus the last month, or even versus the last year. Alerts and notifications. So you can also and alerts and notifications. So if there is an outage or if there's a storm, we definitely recommend setting up outage alerts so that you can get notified by text message or by email when what's the progress in restoring of your service, or when the services has been restored. So there are different notifications and alerts that you can sign up for. It does vary, residential versus commercial. For the most part, it's generally the same, but we have the severe weather alert. If that's something that you want to keep track of, that's, basically an email saying that there's some severe weather approaching, and some tools and some tips that we could give you in case that there is an outage or you experience an outage. Also, if you want reminders of your payment due date or anything, if you're not on auto pay, when is your payment due, or if there's a past due on your account, and some other news and things like that. Reporting and checking an outage. Now, this is something that you can do on the web, but I recommend, actually, it's easier. It's a lot easier to do on the mobile app. You can really just go into the mobile app, because 9 times out of 10, maybe your computer is charged, but if your power goes down, you're probably not thinking, let me grab my laptop or anything like that, but you'll probably have your cell phone nearby, or if anything dies, you can go to the car and charge your cell phone. But you can go into the mobile app, there's an outage tab in there, just click, report outage, but there are different options on here. So you can go in and you can report an outage online. You can also do it on the mobile app. It's a lot easier. You don't want to, call in and wait in queue and things like that. So recommend really self-servicing so that we can get the outage reported faster. And that helps with us getting things restored quickly. So other things that you can also do on the web: start, stop, or move your service. So for start, stop, move, typically we don't take orders. You'll see at the top, like how far in advance we'll take orders. So like there's till November 13th. It's typically 60 days, I want to say, or 90 days, I'm sorry, in advance that we can take an order to start, stop, move. There's an estimate on how long it's going to take to actually do for each transaction, depending on if you want to start service, move, or if you want to stop service. Stop service is pretty quick, since we're just going in and stopping and just need a final address. Moving service, and there are options. So and of course, because I don't actually have an account to move service to or start service on at the moment, but there is also an option on there if it's going to be used as a business. So that's like, for instance, if it's a home business or anything like that. So you'll see the different questions that are asked if you're going through to start, stop, move service. So that was recently added for commercial customers last year. So that's still a fairly new feature, and that's constantly we're working to improve that and make it more a better customer experience for everyone. So moving on, landlord portal. This is also a new feature. So this was recently added to the PECO website earlier this year. So if we have any landlords on the call, there's a landlord portal that we now have that allows you to manage your residential, manage your properties that you have. So what can you do in the landlord portal? So you can establish and manage any landlord agreements. You can view premises associated with the landlord agreement and view payment summaries for premises within the property manager's name. So one thing that this helps with is if you have a tenant who moves out, it helps with then getting the service back into the landlord's name, so that until you have a new tenant that occupies. So this is a great feature for that. It does not allow you to start, stop, or move service. So you can't stop your tenant service, move the tenant out. You can't do any of that kind of thing. You also can't monitor their energy usage, report outages, or pay any bills on their account, because still, this is their account. So this is really just a portal to manage the property and to oversee, to make sure things, things don't go by the wayside in case that someone moves out abruptly or anything like that. But we do have to limit to where there's not an intrusion of privacy or anything like that. So there are just those few features that you're not able to do within the landlord portal. So for that, you do have to register. So it is a separate sign in from just the normal PECO.com sign in. There is a register button. And then, once you have that email, you can just sign into the landlord portal. And then we also have a commercial e-bill portal. And so this is for customers who want to go paperless, which again, we recommend going paperless. It is a separate portal that is for the e-bill, because it's offered technically through R.R. Donnelley, which is a vendor. So this is another thing that does have a separate username and password, but you could use the same username and password that you're using for the landlord portal to kind of, if you have to join the landlord portal, to make it easier for yourself. But it's a separate username and password for the e-bill portal. It lets you, once you sign in, you could just go in, you can view all of your bills, gives you your billing history, as well as if you want to pull up any previous bills for the last the last 2 years, you'll have the ability to do that as well, view your current bills. And so that makes it a lot easier. There are some features that we have coming up. So we currently right now have a chatbot. It's an AI chatbot that's on our website. It does allow you to kind of go in and do some basic things if you want to report an outage, if you want to make a payment, if you want to look at assistance programs or things like that. So there are different features that are on our chatbot. But one feature that we are working on, and we're really working on to get this added by the end of the year, is an ongoing project, is to have live agent chat. And I really wanted to point that out because it's beneficial. Because let's say you have an issue going on. Again, you don't want to call in, wait on hold for however long the wait time is to get through an agent. You can simply go onto the website, pull up the chatbot. It's in the bottom right-hand corner. Our chatbot at PECO is called Watts. You can pull Watts up, and then you can, if you need to, chat with an agent. So that allows you really to do everything self-service, to stay within the website. You want to go make a payment. If you're having questions about your bill, you're already online, you're already doing something else. It allows you just to stay within that website and to continue to self-service so that you don't have to really call in or reach out to anyone additional. And also the goal for our live agent chat is not only to just be able to help you with the bill, but also to be able to help you with any issues that you have on the website. So if you're having trouble logging in, or you can't find your account number or anything like that, that's where the live agent chat will come in at. So our goal is the end of this year. We're still working on staffing that and everything, but that's one thing to look forward to. Also the commercial, almost done, Joe. Also the commercial payment agreements. So we have residential payment agreements on the website. Commercial payment agreements is a little bit more detailed. So we are in the process of working to have that also added to the website. So if you fall behind on the bill, or you fall on tough times and you need some additional assistance, we want to be able to have that so that that can be self-service on the web for commercial accounts as well. So that's something coming up. And then something that I mentioned earlier already is the authenticated language translation. So we have for Spanish and simplified Chinese. Again, that's only on the unauthenticated side, which is prior to signing in. So we're in the process now of having it so that once you sign in and you go to like that commercial dashboard, you can see that in other languages. So starting with Spanish and simplified Chinese, the goal is to branch out to other languages. But right now those two are our focus, and then we'll continue to branch out from there. So those are things that are upcoming for the website, and also for the mobile app is also to have translation done. Again, if you're not familiar with the website, I would recommend bookmarking it. If you don't have the mobile app, download the mobile app as well so that you can easily access any of your account information and anything that you might need assistance with. And I think that was it. So
well said, Stacy. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What I'm going to do, we're going to do a pop quiz here just to make sure that people soaked up all the great information you shared. So I'm going to give a few seconds for people to weigh in on this particular poll question. While we're waiting, just to give people a chance to respond, I'll chime in on something, because in my day-to-day, I talk to a lot of small business customers, and probably the response that I get most frequently is that they had no idea that these tools and resources existed, and that's why they're not, why you may not be enrolled. And for something, for example, like the outage notification, that can make a huge difference if you sign up for a tool like that prior to the power going out. It helps you avoid hold times, helps you get answers faster. So if you spend a little bit of time poking around that website, it can really make your life easier for when things go sideways, like an unplanned power outage. So strong recommend, go on there and play around with some of these great tools that Stacy talked about.
Yes, Joe, and I'm sorry, I did want to say there's other things too for commercial customers on the website, and I know that'll be touched within later in the presentation, but you'll see there are things that I haven't even touched on. So definitely, like Joe said, go on there, just play around on the website and see what things you can do in there.
And Stacy, you've got several yeses to your question.
Okay, So for this one, property managers cannot start, stop, or move new service in the Lambo portal. since that is under the tenant's information, the tenant only has the ability to do that.
You came in guns blazing with a real tough one right there. That was so that's good. People are learning today. That's good. So okay, with that, I'm going to move on and we will transition to our next presenter, who is Shannon Christie. She's the Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager. So Shannon, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Great. Take it away.
All right. Thanks so much, Joe. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Shannon Christie, and I'm a Senior Energy Efficiency Program Manager here at PECO. I support our energy efficiency programs for our business customers and specifically focus on working with small and medium-sized businesses. Today, I'm going to be sharing some information on energy efficiency solutions for businesses and how PECO's programs and incentives can help your business save energy and save money. Next slide. All right, so PECO offers energy efficiency programs and incentives through PA Act 129. If you're not familiar with PA Act 129, it is Pennsylvania's flagship energy efficiency law that requires utilities to reduce their energy use by offering energy efficiency programs to their customers. These are typically ratepayer funded programs, so there's actually a line on your bill if you're a PECO customer that goes directly into providing support for these programs. So you pay into it, you might as well get something out of it. PECO has programs for both residential and commercial customers. All PECO electric customers are eligible to participate in these programs and receive incentives, regardless of whether PECO is your energy supplier. That's not required to take advantage of the program. And customers that do participate in our programs and receive our incentives directly benefit through reduced energy use and savings on their utility bills. Next slide, please. So I can imagine that energy efficiency isn't the top of mind for the average business, but it's actually a holistic way to support and enhance your business's growth and operations. As costs rise, businesses can look to energy efficiency as a way to reduce energy use and operating costs, increase margins, and reinvest any savings from energy efficiency into other aspects of your business. There's nearly always opportunities to improve the energy performance of your business, and most can save up to 30% on their energy bills through energy efficiency alone. And depending on the size of your business, that really could equate to hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year in reduced costs, especially if your business tends to be more energy intensive, like if you're in food service or restaurant or even light manufacturing. In addition to the financial benefits, energy efficiency can also support more comfortable, healthy, and productive working environments by implementing a higher efficiency HVAC system. For example, you can improve the comfort of your space and overall air quality, and upgrading to LED lighting can improve the visual quality of your space. And if your business has any sustainability or environmental goals, energy efficiency is a great way to help you achieve them. It directly reduces your business's carbon footprint and can improve the resiliency of your building. Here's some basic energy efficiency solutions. The lowest hanging fruit is definitely upgrading your lighting to LED. So if you have fluorescent or metal halide or incandescent, this is really where you should start to get the biggest bang for your buck in terms of incentives and savings. You should also look at evaluating and updating and optimizing your HVAC equipment. You should ensure that your equipment is not only properly maintained, but consider replacing to a higher efficiency version if it's near the end of its useful life. You can also look at identifying and addressing any air leaks in your building, particularly if you have leaky doors or leaky windows. You can also leverage energy management or even PECO's My Account tools to review your energy use and find opportunities to better manage it and reduce your usage and associated costs. And finally, if if it's applicable to your business, you can perform refrigeration maintenance or upgrades. If you're a small grocery store, refrigeration could account for nearly 40% of your business's energy use. So you want to make sure that equipment is running efficiently. So here at PECO, we can help you take advantage of these energy efficiency benefits and opportunities through our efficiency programs. We offer different ways to participate in our programs and receive incentives based on the needs of your business. And we have three main channels for participating, which are listed on the slide here. We have small business solutions, instant discounts, and our prescriptive application path. Starting with small business, this is a turnkey solution specifically designed with the small business in mind. It offers a one-stop shop for energy efficiency and really attractive incentives that could cover up to 100% of the total cost of upgrading your equipment. This channel also offers an open network of service providers that can offer incentives to customers, giving you some flexibility on which contractor you may want to work with. Our instant discount channel offers a point of sale rebate for qualifying energy efficiency products like lighting, HVAC, refrigeration, and food service. We really like this channel because it has no paperwork for the customer. It's quick and easy. All you need to do is purchase your equipment at a participating distributor and you will get the rebate right at checkout. This is really ideal for customers that have smaller maintenance projects or maybe in-house maintenance staff. And then finally, our prescriptive application. This is our traditional energy efficiency program where a customer or contractor applies for incentives for purchasing qualifying efficient equipment. We do have an online application to help streamline the process and a network of service providers that are very familiar with the program processes that are available to work with our customers. All right, I like to show a few examples of customers and projects that have run through some of our programs, really just to demonstrate the significant benefit that these programs can have on a customer's energy use and bill. So on the slide here, you're seeing three different customers that participated in our small business channel in 2022. The first is a deli that did a lighting upgrade for their interior and exterior lighting. They saved just over 40,000 kilowatt hours for this project, which equates to roughly $2,500 in bill savings each year. PECO actually provided $8,500 in incentives against a total project cost of $10,625. So PECO rebates covered 80% of this project. The second is an office that did a small lighting upgrade. They'll save 12,623 kilowatt hours, which amounts to roughly $757 in annual bill savings. PECO provided $8,615 in incentives against a total project cost of $16,500. So there, our rebate covered just over half of the total cost of the project. And finally, this warehouse project, they upgraded the entirety of the lighting in their warehouse from old metal halides to LED fixtures, saving them 30,585 kilowatt hours each year, which translates to cost savings of $1,835. PECO provided $14,100 in incentives, and the total cost of the project was $14,100. So in this case, PECO provided the entirety of the cost for the project, and the customer is now going to save nearly $2,000 a year on their energy bill as a result. We want all of our customers to take advantage of these programs. They can really benefit your business and help you reduce your energy use and costs. Before I pass the baton here, I just want to point out a few resources to help you consider energy efficiency projects and connect with our programs. You can go on peco.com/business to find a service provider to help complete an energy efficiency project. If you're not sure where to start or want to better understand how you're currently using energy, we do offer complimentary energy analysis. We have a simple intake form on our website that you can fill out, and one of our staff will reach out to you. And then finally, if you just have general questions, feel free to reach out to our program team anytime at the email address and phone number listed on the slide here.
Very nice, Shannon, and thank you. We have another knowledge check here. This is one I think that is going to be relevant to quite a few people. I'm going to give folks a few seconds to respond to what you see in front of you on the screen. Something that I'd chime in on, again, just to try to pull from some of my conversations with these small business customers, is that we understand that for many people that are the owners of a small business, you might not leap out of bed in the morning and have this be your first thought. But once you get into some of the real numbers here, as Shannon showed you, there's tremendous benefit and value for people to stop just to spend a little bit of time working on this, because as everybody on this call knows all too well, you'd much rather be working on your business than in your business. And this is a really good way to help you do that. So strong recommend to take advantage of some of these tools that Shannon's talking about, because it's going to make your day-to-day a little bit easier. And so what we see here is we've got several yeses. You want to hum a few bars about that, Shannon?
Yes, I'm happy to say that, yes, you are eligible to participate in PECO's energy efficiency programs, even though PECO is not your electricity supplier. As long as you have a PECO commercial account, you can participate. So that's great.
Good job, group. We've got it. We are improving. So with that, we are going to move on to our next presenter, who's Nick Mart, who's going to be talking to you about electric vehicles and time of use pricing. Nick, are you with us?
Yes, Joe. How you doing?
Great.
Can you
Thanks
hear me
very
okay?
much. We've got you loud and clear. Take her away.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. So hello, everyone. I'm Nick Mart. I'm the manager of our strategic programs team here at PECO. And what I'm going to be talking about today is our electric vehicle programs, as well as a time of use, an optional time of use rate that we currently have, which could potentially save customers money. So with that, we can hop into the first slide here. So just wanted to give a background on all the things, our portfolio and all the work that we're doing from PECO in regards to electric transportation. So a couple of these may not be applicable. I'm going to be focusing on our level 2 commercial EV charging pilot. I'll go to a little bit more details there. But just wanted to give a little bit of background. If you are looking at your business potentially installing a fast charger, we have a program for that can help provide some demand response or demand credits for those charges up to the first 36 months. Folks here, once again, might not be too applicable, but we do have money available to offer for transit charging. So that's any of the transit authorities. If you're looking to install or fast chargers for those vehicles, that is something else that we are currently offering. Just as anyone who owns an electric vehicle or recently purchased an electric vehicle, might not be a whole lot, but we do offer a $50 rebate just for letting us know that you have an electric vehicle. You just really have to register it through us and provide that information, and we can give you $50 for that. And something I do want to talk a little bit more about as I'll go through the presentation, but there's a lot of resources on our website on our EV toolkit. So a lot of this information, we run through it pretty quickly here today. Please go online, peco.com/EV. It's a great place to check out these programs, to get a little bit more information, as well as there's some calculators on there, so you can take a look at, hey, maybe I've heard about electric vehicle. Is that something I want to purchase for my business, or just as a personal car as well? So just want to make sure that people are aware that that toolkit is out there. There's a lot of great information. And last but finally, but definitely not least, is our time of use rate. As I mentioned, I'll go into a little bit more detail on this one as well. But residential and small commercial customers are eligible for an optional time of use rate. So this is really going to, the pricing of electricity is going to be dependent on when you use it throughout the day. And I'll talk a little bit more about that on a future slide. So we can go to the next slide here. Thanks. So as I mentioned, really this is something I just, we'll spend a little bit more time going into detail. But this is something that just launched as of April this year. So a level 2 charging EV pilot here at PECO. And just a little bit of background. When we talk about EV chargers, there's kind of different levels. There's a different amount of capacity that each of those uses. So this would be a charger that draws a similar amount of electricity to a dryer in a home or a hot water heater, something along those lines. Typically, you can charge a vehicle over a course of a couple hours. You might see these at locations when you go to a mall or a gas station. Something along those lines is kind of a typical application for these, or at a place of business where employees or that or your fleets can be charged over time. So we are currently offering rebates for this, and the note here is, and hint hint, we might have a question on this, but there is funding still available for this program for this year and next year. So we just want to make sure, folks, we're getting the word out. We want to make sure if you're potentially thinking about installing an EV charger at your business, see if it would be applicable for or eligible for this program. We want to be able to give that money out if you are looking into that. So just a quick couple notes on eligibility. The folks here, this is, hopefully you're a small business owner. If you do have a business rate, or if you're a commercial customer, that's the first step of eligibility. This is only for commercial customers. This is not a residential program. Very similar to the programs that we just heard from Shannon. If you do have a different supplier other than PECO, you still are eligible for this program. And really, it doesn't matter if you're using it for fleet applications or if it's open to the public. Any sort of applications like that are once again eligible for this program. What I will say is, as part of this, data is provided for 24 months as part of the program. So it's something that you would just have to keep in mind. What I would say is once again, going to our website, talking about the resources, there's a program handbook that's out there to go into the specific details on this. If it's something you're really interested in, or you could always email us at ev@peco.com. I'll answer the email, get back to you if there's any questions on eligibility. So really, what is this program about? It's offering incentives for work that can be done to get ready for that charger to be installed. So we offer up to $2,000 per port, or 50% of that make-ready work. If you are an environmental justice area, and I'll talk a little bit more about this in the next slide, but those rebates are actually enhanced up to $3,000 for port. So each plug that you use for electric vehicle, or up to $75 for the total make-ready cost. As I mentioned, more information on the equipment and networking, the network providers that are currently eligible for this program on our website and on that program handbook. Go to the next slide. I'll just briefly mention this if folks are familiar with this or not too sure, but environmental justice areas, once again, listed in that program handbook, is a way to actually go through step by step to determine if your location is in an environmental justice area. So there is a website you can go to through the PA Department of Environmental Protection that will guide you, and you can put in your address and you can locate if it's an environmental justice area or not. Once again, this is used to determine if you are eligible for those enhanced rebates. But once again, there is a list of how to do this step by step on the program handbook on our website if you want more information on that. Go to the next slide, please. And just a little bit more about the process. So I know, once again, we kind of talk about the process and a lot of things that may not be top of mind or may not be your first priority as a small business owner. We can help you through the process. Those charger manufacturers, charger network providers will help you through this process. But essentially, this is a two-phase process of submitting interest in the program, basically saying, hey, I want to do this project. I'm thinking about installing chargers. Is this project going to be eligible? That's the first part. Basically, we would review that. We will get back to you and notify you yes, or maybe some things might have to change. And then you have up to 270 days to complete the construction. These are construction projects. Some of them can be installed a little bit easier than others in terms of just the overall project, but you do have up to 270 days to complete that work. And then finally, what the last phase of it would be, basically just we need to verify the work was completed. You'll send us invoicing on how much it cost so that we can go through and work on getting those rebate checks out to you. So the next slide here, we're just going to talk through some of the work, as I mentioned, on raising awareness and getting this information out into the public. So we have a lot of this information listed on our website. We've been getting emails blast out there. So hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing about it, but if it is, that's okay. Once again, if you have customers that you want to pass this information along to, you think might be part in the community, you want to pass this along, we do have PDFs online that can be downloaded and used. And just want to quickly mention, as in part of those enhanced rebates of $3,000 per port, or the 75% of the make ready work, we are getting information out there to minority business enterprises. So that's another thing that we're just kind of keeping in mind as we pass this information along. And switching gears a little bit, just to talk about our time of use program. Once again, this is optional. So this is by no means required. This is an optional generation only rate. So really this is the supply portion of your bill. But this is looking at basically a rate that would have different pricing for electricity at different times. So in the chart here, this goes into more details on the peak times, the off peak and super off peak. But just a little bit of information about this program. A lot of the participants have been residential customers, but we do have a handful of commercial and industrial customers that have participated in this. Once again, if you look at our website, PECO.com, TOU or time of use, there's a video on there that goes through and explains the program, and we'll walk you through exactly what the opportunity is there. So we do provide optional usage alerts, basically saying, here's how you're doing if you're saving, or potentially using more money during those times. And we also offer monthly recaps on that. And that's all that I have here. So I guess we'll open up for the knowledge check question.
Thank you, Nick. That's very informative stuff. Everybody can now see the poll question. Is funding still available for the PECO Level 2 Commercial Electric Vehicle Charging Pilot Program? I'll chime in while we give people a chance to respond. The PECO's electric vehicle was a big hit at the Pennsylvania Auto Show a few months back. And boy, is there an element of timeliness right now. I don't think I have to go into much detail about the state of gas prices and how this has really generated a fresh wave of attention towards electric vehicle alternatives, and also some recent government legislation that is raising a lot of questions and put kind of a spotlight on the future of electric vehicles. So I think it's comforting to know that there are already programs in place for small and mid-sized businesses like yourself to make that transition a little bit easier and to arm you with the information you need to know if this can be a part of your future as well. So with that, Nick, I think that you hit home with your message because you've got an awful lot of yeses there.
That's great. Yeah, just a quick reminder, the one thing to take home, if you're interested in installing EV chargers at your business or commercial property, there is funding still available. So please take a look at our website for more information on that, or reach out ev@peco.com, and we'll get back to you on more information about the program. Thanks, Joe. Thanks everyone for the time.
Thank you. So next up to talk to you a little bit about Green Power Connect is Brian Barr. Brian, are you still with us?
Yes, I am here.
Great. I think your name, or you changed your name, so there's not two Joes anymore. Perfect.
Yes, correct.
Thank you for joining, and take her away.
All right, just trying to get my camera working here. There you go. Start video. Okay, everybody's seeing.
There we go.
Okay, great. All right, my name's Brian Barr. I'm with the Green Power Connect team at PECO. We've been around for about 5 years now, and we help customers. They work with solar developers, and we work with a lot of solar developers to help customers get connected when they want solar batteries and things like that, and electric vehicles. So I just want to review the process that you have to go through so that you're aware of what the process looks like. Everything we do is automated. We have a new system called Connect the Grid, and solar, it's really hard for an individual customer to do this. There's a lot that you have to know. And solar customers work with solar developers, and solar developers are very familiar with our system, Connect the Grid. Everything's electronic, nothing is submitted manually, and we can actually see what the solar developer's doing before the application even gets to us. It's in draft mode, and everything's registered, and we can see everything they're uploading on their side before it even comes to us electronically. And then it comes to us electronically, and there's some rules out there. Once an application comes in, we have 10 business days to review the application and either say everything is there that we need, or it's not there, and you need to add this information. So some of the components are the interconnection agreement itself, service and meter order. Nothing gets done in electric operations without a service and meter order. specification sheets of the inverter, plot plans, single line drawing, how is everything connected so we can see, make sure everything's safe, and an application fee. Once we have all that, we can submit it to our engineers for review. So we really try to do a good job upfront to make sure we have everything so we're not going back and forth. And sometimes it takes a little while for the developers if they're new to the area to get used to that. But we have a lot of communications with the developers. I mean, I've been in this job for 5 years, and every week we have a conference call with Tesla. So we're in constant communication with the developers. And then once it goes down to our review engineers, they have on a level 1, which is 10 kW or less. Level 2 is 10 kW or more. We have either have 15 business days or 20 business days to review that. And that group, they have to get back to the developer with, hey, we have everything that's needed, and this one's approved, or conditionally approved based on if you revise these things and meet these conditions, you will be approved. So there's timelines there. It's not like it goes into a black hole. We're measured on all that. All that goes to the Public Utility Commission twice a year. So next slide, please. Thanks. So about 65% of our customers get approved right away. Others go through what we call simple solutions. And if I could just back up for a second, what we're looking at is the voltage at your meter. The voltage at the meter it can't go above 126 volts. So that's what we're looking for. If you add the solar in and it pushes you above the 126, then we offer simple solutions. And some of those simple solutions could be, you ask for 20 kW, we can give you 18. It may be that you have to upgrade the triplex up front. It may be that we have to move a polar transformer or something like that. Or it could, if we can't find a simple solution, it would go into engineering study. And so the simple solutions, let me just close my door for a minute. Hold on. Sorry about that, got a little noisy.
You're back with us, Brian. We got you.
Yes. So the simple solutions, they go from the actual meter to the transformer out front. And if we can't find a solution there, we go into an engineering study. The engineering study takes you from the transformer, maybe in front or in back of your property, and all the way to the substation. It looks at the entire circuit. So that's a much longer process. Only about 2% of our customers go into engineering study. So there may need to be some construction to be done and things like that. If you're approved right away, you're approved. If you go into any of these simple solutions or engineering study, once you agree to which way you want to move forward, we'll give you various options. You can be approved, or once the construction is done, you can be approved, and then you have approval to install. One of the key things here is that don't put the solar on your roof. If you're working with a developer, don't put the solar on your roof until you're approved from the utility. Because if you don't get approved for the amount of capacity that you need, you might have to take panels off, and you don't want to go through that. So again, make sure that that you have approval from the utility. Another key thing is that you can actually be, when you're working with a solar developer, you can ask to be a collaborator in Connect the Grid so that you can watch everything that's going on. And again, everything is documented electronically. You can see if we dropped a ball, if the solar developer dropped a ball, all that's documented. All messages go through Connect the Grid. All the files that they're uploading are uploaded electronically in Connect the Grid. It's a really great tool. So next slide. So once you're approved, they can install the panels. You can install the panels. It's very rare we get somebody that individually, does their own system, but some people out there are electrical engineers. They're very proud of that, and they want to do it themselves. And we help them with that too. Once the installation is done, we look for a couple different things. One is we have to get to part 2 of the application, which says that I was going to install 10 kW. That's what I installed, 10 kW solar. It confirms that. So we have that, and then we need a underwriter certificate from the underwriter company, not from the solar developer. Has to come from the underwriter company. They send that into us, and we also need a picture of the meter setup because we want to be efficient. We don't want to have to send a meter tech out there twice because, we didn't understand the setup or whatever. So we asked for those three things. Once we have those three things, then we can install the bi-directional meter. In the case of a business, you would actually need two meters. One is an in meter and one is an out meter. So the in meter is already there. What your developer would have to do is add an out meter, and that would register any excess usage going out to the grid so that you would get credit on your bill. So, if it's commercial, just remember too that you need two meters, not just one meter. Once we have the metering done, then we have a certain amount of days to return the permission to operate. The permission to operate, also known as the PTO, is used by the solar developers. It depends on the deal they make with you, but they need that document to get what's called SRECs, solar renewable energy credits. And each SREC is worth some money. On a small residential right now, it might be in this area, it might be like $600 that the solar developer would get, or if it depends on the deal, if they give that to you, whatever the financial deal they make with you. But they want the permission to operate. Once you have that, you can work with your solar developer to turn the system on. Next slide. And then this is key. A lot of times we get calls from customer service. People come in through customer service, they get bounced around. Who do I call? Who do I call? And we don't like that to happen. We're trying to find better ways of doing that. But this is our contact information: gpcteam@peco.com or 833-732-6334. I know the reps out there, they do a really good job at answering the phone. There's not many calls that get missed. And we're here to satisfy the customers. A lot of nuances to it with billing and things like that. So if you ever have any questions, give us a call. We'll get you to the right people who can answer questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. With that, we're going to have another knowledge check. I can install solar panels on my business before having approval from PECO. So for some of you that were furiously taking notes, I think we're going to have the right response here. I'm going to give a few minutes for people to respond. What I'll share just while we wait there is that this is some pretty interesting stuff. And for those of you that aren't necessarily 100% well-versed and comfortable with this, there are ample tools and resources to help you to help increase your comfort level and see whether this is the right fit for you. And the first step that you can take, as Brian mentioned, is check out that website because there's all kinds of information out there in terms of ways that you can improve your day-to-day business operations. And as we see so far, I think we've got pretty universal responses in false. Brian, would you like to speak to that?
That is correct. Do not install solar panels before you have approval from PECO, or even if you're working with another utility, do not install them because you may have to remove panels if you don't get approved for the correct capacity.
Message landed. Beautiful. Thank you, Brian. And with that, we are going to turn it to our final presenter, Rosara Hernandez-McCall, who's going to talk to you about ways that PECO is actively reaching out with customized solutions to small and mid-sized business owners. Rosara.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning. My name is Rosara Hernandez-McCall, and I am a PECO Senior Account Representative for Small Business. And this morning, we've talked a lot about PECO programs and resources. And another huge resource for our small business customers are our small business account representatives like myself. PECO now has account representatives who work directly with our small and mid-sized business customers. And today I'm going to share with you how we can actually help you. First, as your account representative, we want to understand your business and its energy needs. We want to know, how do you use energy? Do you have energy goals? What are some of your business challenges? Do you have energy saving interests? Your specific energy needs are unique. If you're a restaurant, your energy needs are going to be different than, say, that of a retail clothing store. And when you use energy and how you use energy is also important for us to know. And when we know this, we can provide you with more tailored information on the tools and resources that best meet your needs. When we understand your needs, we're also able to create programs to address them. And one of these programs I will talk a little bit more about in our next slide. As your representative, we also want to be your trusted source for your energy needs. We want to be your resource for questions when you have them, whether it's about your account or your service. If you have questions such as, how do I sign up for automatic payments? Or how do I sign up for outage alerts? Are you having trouble paying your bills? How can PECO help? Certain businesses may be eligible for payment arrangements. We also want to know how you prefer your communication from us. Is it through email? Is it text? Is it phone? We can help answer your questions and facilitate the resolving of any issues that you may be having. We are your liaison to PECO, and the more we know, the better we can serve you. We also want to provide you with information on all of the PECO tools and programs and resources. Our team has already discussed many of the programs that we have. And as your account representative, we can also walk you through some of these resources, especially offering and identifying ones that may be more helpful based on your type of business. Finally, we also want to ensure that your business is energy efficient. You heard our energy efficiency team talk about some of the programs that we have. We know that when your business is energy efficient, you're saving money, and you can focus your efforts on using those savings to invest and run your business. And our goal is to help you save energy and reduce your costs. So let's look at one of the programs that could help with that PECO created to help some of our customers that were suffering over the last several years because of the pandemic. So right now, PECO is running a small business gas grant. We are awarding a one-time grant of $500 towards your PECO natural gas account. The savings or the grant will be applied directly to your bill and will lower either your outstanding balance, or it will be provided as a credit for future charges. There are some eligibility requirements that I'll go through. The first is that you have to have an active PECO gas account on or before March 31st of 2020. You must take your service rate under GC, which is basically that you have a gas commercial service account with PECO. You must have fewer than 25 employees, and you must have experienced a financial hardship resulting from the pandemic. And we know that most of small businesses suffered tremendously as a result of the pandemic, and most likely will qualify for that portion of the grant. So our goal with this grant is to provide some relief to our customers, and in this case, gas customers who've suffered a financial hardship as a result of the pandemic. And this is an example of a program that PECO created to address our customers' needs. If you're interested in applying, you can click on the link below the image that you see here, or you can go to our website, PECO.com. There's an icon for the grant on our main website page that you can also access. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosara. I think that there's some great information, and that gas grant that she mentioned, that's really that's my foot in the door for a lot of business owners, because our team is bringing a lot of information about these tools to people, not just that they exist, but we are the proactive outreach arm of the team. So to help get people's attention, it's pretty nice to be able to say, hey, there's a $500 grant program that is available for you. So that's one of my favorite things to talk about with folks. That ends the line of our presenters. So what I'm going to try to do for you briefly is just summarize a few key takeaways. Obviously, everyone on the call has dedicated their valuable time to this, and I want you to be able to benefit almost immediately with a few things, with a few tidbits that all of our panelists have spoken about today. First up, one of the best things you can do to get things started is go and explore PECO's digital platform. There's so many tools that are available for small and mid-sized business owners simply by going to PECO.com. You can explore them, increase your comfort level for them, and proactively sign up for a lot of these programs that you're not necessarily, you don't have to sign on the bottom line straight away. You can arm yourself with knowledge that are going to help you run your business more efficiently. To Shannon's point, everybody that owns their building, there's no reason not to fill out a complimentary energy assessment form. One of the things that is nice about that I've learned in my conversations with business owners is that the cases of a building being unbelievably perfectly energy efficient, they're pretty few and far between. So almost everybody can benefit greatly from participation in these programs, whether it's a small, more simplified lighting replacement project or a much larger HVAC replacement. We have the people and the tools in place to arm you with the ability to make a decision that's in the best interest of your company. Also, as I mentioned earlier, and as what Nick talked about, there's a spotlight on electric vehicles right now. And one of the best things that you can do is partner with your utility. Go to the website and explore some of the information, because we already have programs in place to help make your transition easier, whether that's because you have a fleet of vehicles for your employees and you're considering electrification of that fleet to offset some higher costs, or maybe you own a standalone business where offering a charging station can be a real draw to your residents, your tenants, your employees, or maybe just people within your area. There's a great many reasons to get on board the electrification movement, and you can always arm yourself with more knowledge to that end on the website. We also have other tools regarding solar, as Brian mentioned earlier, but one of the key takeaways from that is that you don't want to go out, purchase panels on your own, begin the installation process, and then contact us after the fact. So make sure you're exploring the website, make sure that you are following the appropriate steps to maximize the reimbursement programs that you have from us, because we already have those programs in place to help make that transition as smooth as possible for you. Lastly, you heard a lot about these tools and these resources that are available to you. We talked a lot about visiting the website. There are people out there, namely myself and Rosara, that are actively in the field and meeting with small business customers like yourself to help explain this in a little bit more detail. I fully recognize that everything that we discussed today might not all be applicable to your particular business, but we can offer some more customized recommendations to you just by opening up that dialogue. So feel free to reach out to myself or Rosara. Engage with your chamber, engage with us, and there are ways that we can make this as simplified as possible, not just telling you that these tools exist, but in catering those solutions to your business to make this as relevant and as impactful for you as possible. And last but not least, if you leave here with nothing, go fill out a gas grant application, because there are financial resources available for you. We know that the last couple of years dealing with the pandemic has been challenging, and this is a program that is in place to help improve your customer experience and help lighten your load. So with that, we have reached the end of our journey for the day. I've been monitoring the chat and I haven't seen any questions pop up. Jessica, have you seen anything pop up, or is there anything that has come up during the course of our presentation that I can speak to before we adjourn?
No, I think that's it. I appreciate your time today, and thank you again, PECO, for sharing this great information.
Well, thank you, Jessica, for coordinating. Thank you to the Chamber for advertising and promoting this as much as you have. It was our goal today to share the value that we're providing to your Chamber members, and we hope that we've helped arm everyone with the information to help your business run more efficiently and help improve your overall experience in working with your utility. Thank you to my panelists for sharing your information, and thank you to all of the guests for taking time out of your busy calendars to learn more about how we can support you in your day-to-day efforts. Thanks to all. I appreciate your time and your support, and have a great day.